Hi, my name is Patrick, and I am a student from 3rd I USMLE Medical Academy in Surat, conducted by Dr. Nandakishore Managoli. And I have attended classes for Step 1, and I finished that in last January. And now I have finished my Step 2 as well, Step 2 CK, and I highly recommend this place. The reason why I highly recommend this place is that it has an integrated interdisciplinary approach to learn USMLE, which is absolutely necessary for studying for USMLE. And he also has an active MCQ based learning method, which is also very beneficial for USMLE. And he conducts these tests on a weekly basis to understand what your weak points are. And he also, after each NBME, he actually does a analysis which would help you in improving your score. You might be stuck in a 210 or a 220, but that analysis really helps in breaking that barrier and going up to a certain point, like from a 220 to reach a 240. You might need to understand what you're lacking and what is actually necessary for you to reach that particular point. He also has these sketch notes which you can do on which you can do to increase your memory, and if you do it repetitively and within a spaced interval, that will actually help in retaining a lot of information. And if you look at first aid and stuff like that, it's just a lot of facts, and when you try to read it for the first time, it would be really hard for you to understand what they're trying to say or understand what the core concepts are behind it. So if you do this kind of an approach with Dr. Managoli's approach of how to learn and how to understand the core concepts for USMLE, it would be very beneficial in answering questions and getting a good score. And he also gives you he also tells you and teaches you on how to approach a test, approach a question. He knows how question writers make the question and how you should actually approach a question, and that would be really beneficial in time management as well as efficiently dealing with a question. As you all know that you only get 1.5 minutes for each question in step 1 as well as in step 2, and if you look at the length of the question, it's usually a paragraph, and there will be a lot of options. Some questions might even have like 10 options, and you need that proper guidance and approach, and you need to know how to approach a question for efficiently finishing a question within 1.5 minutes and without tiring yourself out throughout the exam, because it's a 8-hour exam in case of step 1 and a 9-hour exam in case of step 2. So you actually need that approach and guidance on how to solve questions, which Dr. Manangoli is really good at, and he will hold your hand and he will guide you through each and every step of it. And he also gives you guidance and on how to maintain your temperament and how to maintain your cool during the exam, and he gives you enough motivation as well as confidence right before the exam. I took my exam in Ahmedabad both for step 1 and step 2, and just before I would go for the exam, like the previous day, he would actually sit with me for a few hours, and he would actually tell me and guide me on how I should actually maintain my temperament and stuff like that. And I think Dr. Managoli is an excellent teacher, and he actually does his best so that so that students can actually benefit out of it and could reach really good would attain really good scores and stuff like that. For both step 1 and step 2, I have studied from Surat itself. I'm actually from Kerala. I'm an American citizen, but I'm from Kerala, and I've come to Surat, and I have been living here for the past 1.5 to 2 years. And I highly recommend that you actually stay here and attend his live classes, and you'll actually hear, because one of the things is there will be other students as well, and really interacting with other students who are actually preparing for step 1, it gives you a broader aspect of how the other person thinks, and you can have these group discussions. You can solve UWorld or MCQs or Q banks together, and that when your study partner actually tells you certain stuff, you tend to retain that much more than if you were just passively learning all by yourself. So that's the reason why even after step 1 I came back here for my step 2 CK, because I think that that was really beneficial for me when I did my step 1. So I highly recommend that you come here to Surat, and the environment for studying, it's kind of like a library upstairs where you have AC, you have high speed internet, and everything is there. And if you need any kind of guidance, if you have some doubts, if you have some questions, sir will be there from morning to evening. And you can, even after that, you can actually call him up at any time, and you can be in the class as long as you. I used to stay here till 11 or 12 at night, and I would just go back home and then I'll sleep, and next day morning again I would come at 7:30 to class. So and since you are away from your home and you don't have your friends around and stuff like that, it is actually kind of a boost for you. I felt that that was actually absolutely necessary for me, because that actually, like, you, since you do not have anything else to do, you would be solely concentrating on your USMLE preparation. And yeah, that actually is really helpful in not deviating from what your ultimate goal is. um, yeah, so I highly recommend Third Eye USMLE Medical Academy by Dr. Nandakishore Managoli, and wish you all the very best. Thank you.